know what day today is in the church?
Halloween.
Well, yesterday was Halloween, and today in the church we celebrate All Saints Day. Can you say All Saints Day?
All Saints Day.
All Saints Day. And I brought 3 things here today that remind me of saints. When we talk about saints, we talk about people that have pointed us towards Jesus, right? That have shown us Jesus by the way that they live their life. And every year on when we celebrate All Saints Day in the church, we read the names of the people in our church who have died in the last year. So, do you know why I brought scissors?
Why?
These really aren't the right kind of scissors. I should have brought haircut scissors. Should I cut your hair?
No!
Well, I won't cut your hair. But I brought scissors because today, for All Saints Day, one of the names that we'll read is Mr. Doug Dreyer, and he died this year. And do you know what he used to do for a living?
What?
He used to cut hair. He used to cut people's hair. He was a barber. He had a barber shop, right? But do you know what is something that's true about Mr. Doug?
What?
When you go to cut your hair at a place, when you go get your hair cut at a place, you pay money, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Mr. Doug would cut hair for free if you couldn't afford to pay for your haircut, but you needed one. Mr. Doug would cut your hair for free. That was one of the ways that he could show the love of Christ to people, right? And if you were too sick to go out into the general public, Mr. Doug would come to your house to cut your hair, just to make sure that you would be, just to make sure that you could be kept safe and stay well. That's one of the ways that Mr. Doug is a saint, is showing us Jesus by the way that he lived his life, by caring for people and using his profession as also a ministry, right? And being able to show the love of Christ through the things that he did for a living. So that's one way Mr. Doug is a saint, yeah? Okay, you ready for another one? So sometimes on All Saints Day, we read the names of all the people in our church that have died in the last year. But a saint isn't just somebody that goes to St. Mark's, right? A saint could be anybody that's shown you the love of Christ. Do you know what this is?
What?
I just found this week because it was in the closet and I didn't know where it was. But this is something that
I always see it in the closet.
Oh, okay.
It was always in there.
This is something that my grandma made for me, right? Do you know what it's filled with? There's a Velcro. You know what it's filled with? There's a pouch, and in that pouch is, can you feel it? What does it feel like is in there?
Rocks.
It feels like rocks a little bit. It's rice. And so you can put this in the microwave and heat it up, and then it's like a little heating pad, and it can keep you warm, or you can put it on, sore parts and help make you feel better.
Like I could put it on the sore part of my mouth, but on the outside, so I don't just eat it.
Yeah, so it would make you feel better. My grandma made this for me, and when I found it this week, it reminded me of her and reminded me of the ways that she showed me love, and she was always making things for me, and that's the way that she showed me love, and through her love, I felt the love of God, right? So she made this for me. She'd make clothes for me when I was little, and then when I was bigger, she would make cookies for me and send them to me in the mail when I was in college. And so she showed me Jesus by showing me God's love by the way that she loved me. Grandma died a few years ago, and so Grandma is one of my saints. When I think about All Saints Day, I remember Grandma.
So Pop-Pop's mom.
Yeah, Pop-Pop's mom. She made this for me. So that's what I thought about for All Saints Day. So sometimes saints are people that we don't even know, right? That we've never met before. When we are part of the church, we're a part of a church, not just St. Mark's, that's in our little neighborhood in Houston, right? The church is much bigger than that. It's the church that expands over space, but also through time. And so people that were Christians way before we lived are still a part of the church. We call it, and they're a part of what we call the communion of saints. And we can still be shown Jesus by learning about their lives. So somebody that shows me Jesus, her name is Anna Howard Shaw. I brought this today because even though this is a first aid kit, and so it reminds me a little bit of Anna Howard Shaw, because Anna Howard Shaw was one of the first women that was ordained to be a pastor in the Methodist tradition in 1881. So she is a person that shows me Jesus because she was called to be a pastor at a time when women weren't when women weren't pastors, but she worked really hard, and she got told no a lot of times, but she kept at it, and then till she became an ordained pastor, which is important for me because, that's what I'm trying to do too, right? And so I'm able to do that because she worked hard at it way before now, right? But then you say, well, why did you bring a first aid kit then? She was a pastor. Well, in her work as a pastor, she met a bunch of women who were not able to get the health care that they needed, and she thought that was unfair. So you know what she did?
What?
She went to medical school and also became a doctor. So she was a pastor and a doctor. And so she was able to help not only take care of people's spiritual lives, but also their bodies, right? And help to make them healthy. She's also a suffragette, which is what she's most well known for, is helping get women the right to vote in many, many, many states. So for me, Anna Howard Shaw is a saint that I remember today because her life shows me Jesus, and it helps to build me up in my faith when I see the way that she lived a life of faith. So for me, Anna Howard Shaw is an important saint. Do you think we could say a prayer and say thank you for the saints in our lives?
Thank you.
Okay, ready? Can you pray with me? Can you do party hat? Can you do rocket ship? Can you do praying hands? Yes. Praying hands? Please. Praying hands? Dear God, we thank you for your saints and the way that they show us you and your love. Let us be more like them. Amen. Amen.